Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our kickoff of day 3. Today, you are here for the first workshop, MERLOT, Your Door to Open Education with Irene Knokh. And just a few housekeeping details. First, the session's being recorded because some of our colleagues, those in, let's say, New Zealand are still asleep, and those in other parts of the world are hard at work. We also have turned on the captions for anyone who wants to use them. So just go down to the bottom of your Zoom screen and choose the closed caption button, and then click show subtitle, and you can toggle them on and off as you wish. It's for you. Last but not least, we encourage comments and questions in the chat. So post them there, and the speaker, Irene, will keep an eye on that, and we'll watch it too in case things are going by so fast. But we want this to be an active session. It's a workshop. You remember that we were building from yesterday and learning the day before. So today we are excited to have Irene get us started. So with that, I'll hand over the talking stick to you.
Thank you very much. All right, let me go in. So I'm Irene Knokh. That's my name to my close colleagues and my friends. And officially I go by Irene. I'm an instructional design and technology consultant at the University of Michigan, professional development and education. Apparently, it turns out there are 6 of us who are not nurses, but we're still outnumbered by all the nurses on the unit. So my job is to consult everybody on design, technology, anything in between. And I've been involved in MERLOT since 2002 as a student. And then I became an editor back in 2014, information technology board. And then a few years after that, I requested and worked with leadership on getting my own instructional design and technology board. So I've been involved with them ever since. And I also managed my little corner of world languages and professional development and coaching. So I've been involved with MERLOT for a very long time, but it's always something new that I'm learning. And that's what I want to tell you is you will always be learning new things. And in case there's still somebody who needs an introduction, I am a complete anything, primate, zoo, crocodiles, animal, zoo nut. And so I picked my little background for my picture for whenever I don't have my camera, and even when I do have it. So it's fun and it's kind of relaxing for me. So, and I hope you like the lemurs. And yes, I think somebody said that it's lunchtime. Although for them, it's always lunchtime, any day, any part of the week. And I also want to let you know that captions are great, but they're not perfect. They sometimes bungle things up. I've been through it. The perfectly saying word gets translated into lemur food. So if that's the case, please email me. I'll put my email in chat. And so if you have any specific questions for me, please email me after the presentation. If I don't respond right away, know that I'm not ignoring you. I just need to connect with you after my walk, or just need to connect with you when I have a moment, or need to think through your request before I respond, so that the response actually makes sense. Does that sound reasonable? If you want to just give me a check mark in the reactions button.
It does, and we also posted the link to the Padlet board for this workshop so people can
Excellent.
do asynchronous communication, because we know some people are watching the recording right now.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Would you be able to resend it to me too? I'm going to open it right now, but just in case I don't lose it, because I think, I'm not sure, will it let me copy it? Some of these systems do allow me to copy it. Some of them don't. Let me see. Oh, it did. Okay. So I will watch the Padlet, and then I can even respond straight in the Padlet, or you can communicate with me and send the Padlet alone. I can also PDF it for you. So it's always nice to have a copy of the Padlet you can refer to after the presentation. So the way we'll structure this, first of all, again, I want to thank the organizers for doing this. I think they're doing a fabulous job trying to pull all of this together in 3 days of this conference. That's on top of your regular work. Yay, lemurs, say thank you, humans, really. And I will present to you, but I don't want to talk at you. So I will endeavor to have breaks during the session so you can talk in chat, or you can respond, and maybe even if we have time, have an open mic. And I will give you some time to practice after I do an overview. And then again, if you have any questions, reach out to me, please, because if needed, I can give a short session just to willing participants if you want to find out more about MERLOT and what it does and what you can do to support it, and more importantly, how you can support the students, your learners. Okay, does that sound reasonable? We'll go ahead.
Perfect.
Excellent. So I will go through the slides first, and then I'll leave us some time. I'll see how it flows, because it's different every time I present these topics. So a little bit again about me. There's my email, and MERLOT stands for Multimedia Educational Resource for Learning and Online Teaching. So in the past, when I presented the workshops, the only thing I did was put up some grapes, and I did for this for these slides just for a bit of fun. But one time I always put up a MERLOT bottle, you know, to kind of make the connection. People said, no, this is the hospital, no bottles. So just remember that's what it stands for. Yes, thank you so much. So multimedia for education, multimedia learning and teaching. It's a huge resource. There's a ton of materials there, and we're going to go through some of these things. So objectives for today were you will learn. MERLOT is free. As in free, you don't sign up and then get a ton of commercials. Free, as in free, you don't become the product. Free. So we will explore how to use it and how it can help you and the learners you're supporting. And I want to give you a little scenario. So first of all, this is the image that you will see. If you type in your smartphones, your tablets, your Chromebooks, whatever device you have, merlot.org, that's all you have to remember, and then this will show up. And you can search however you want. I wanted to just take some screenshots in case we do run into any kind of Wi-Fi issues, and so then at least you have an idea of how it looks. And you can search MERLOT, you can search other libraries, you can do everything, and I will show you that in a moment. Okay, just remember merlot.org. So I would like to know how many of you have heard about this resource, because I was talking to some people yesterday and apparently they've never even heard of it. Give me a check mark if you've heard of MERLOT, and give me an X if you have not. Okay, so some of you have heard of it. Okay. So what does open education mean to you? And what I'd like you to do is I will give you a couple of minutes so you can type in chat, and I would like you to type in chat and then hold. And so then after 2 minutes, I would like you to press enter. So what this is a waterfall method, and then everybody's chat comes on at once. It's great, and especially if you can save the chat. I'm not sure if you can do it for this session, but if you can, then I would be able to share the chat with you later, and I would be able to look at it later, and you'd be able to look at it later and see what others are saying. And it's all done at the same time. So start right now. What does Open Education Resource, OER, mean to you? And I'll give you a couple of minutes. And again, thank you to our coordinators and organizers for saving the chat, because I would love to see it too. So I will give you 1 more minute. Okay. I see some of our learners, some of our parts. That's all right. You put it, open education. I will read it. I will read. Okay, open educational resources are often free, sometimes editable works shared by educators and educational staff for others to use. All right, everybody, hit the enter key. Learning or professional development. Excellent. Glenn says, I'm not familiar with MERLOT, but use OER for parts of my classes. Douglas says, the first thing that comes to mind is free, but I also think of community collaboration, student-focused, and equity. Michelle says, it means a free educational resource for faculty and students to use instead of paid textbooks and resources. Aubrey says, free or low-cost materials. Lynn says, pushback against the rising cost of textbooks and corporate. I wish I had that back when I was in school, because I would have loved to push back against all the textbooks I couldn't get at the library and I had to buy. Oh, they were so expensive. OER means more access for more students more of the time. Exactly. Thank you, Amy. And Amal says, free textbooks for students. Yes. And all of these things are OER. So thank you. This was great. Okay, so what is MERLOT? I would like to talk to you about what's available in it. And so one of the things is you can certainly browse it without getting membership. You don't have to be a member. And if you do get a membership, it's free. So the advance is you can create assignments and you can create collections, which you cannot do if you don't have membership. And also, I want to tell you that everybody is welcome. When I was first starting out presenting on different portions of MERLOT, I remember people said, you know what, I don't care. I'm in K-12 or I'm a staff member. What do I get out of it? You know, is it for profs again and just for college students? So I'm here to tell you that is not true. Everybody is welcome. The most recent scenario is I was trying to convince my team why this is important to consider. And I mean, obviously, hospital, you don't have a lot of free educational materials, but we have a lot of nurse educators on the units. They're the ones who teach nurses at the bedside, and they also communicate with other staff. They communicate with unit hosts. They can communicate with administrative assistants and associates. They communicate with clerks. And so I very recently saw a message sent to our department, because we do consults for everybody nursing at the hospital. And the nurse educator told us, I don't know what to do. I have a staff member who struggles with reading and struggles with typing and just basic internet. And so I looked at the message and I said, well, I have something for you that can help you. And I pulled for her one of the MERLOT resources that actually received an award twice, because it's so well done, and I will show it to you today. So it was a huge help to her. She emailed me later and said, oh, this is great. I gave this resource to my staff, and my staff is working through it, and she's so happy because, you know, it's really well done. And it's free and it's self-paced. And believe me, both of those things are nothing to sneeze at in the nursing world either. Okay, and Stacy, I will address your question in a moment. It depends on what you're trying to search for. I will give you some time to do that. So there's basic and advanced search. You can create collections and assignments if you get membership. And before I go and demonstrate the site, I do want to run through this just so that you have the basics, okay? So how do you start? Look around. Catherine Honig is taking over, is one of MERLOT leads, because another person is retiring. She's been with MERLOT forever. And her name is Jane Moore. And actually Jane Moore and Kathy Swift, they both really supported me in my journey to become an editor and learn all the ropes, which I'm still learning after all these years, because again, there's always something new. So do a bit of window shopping. You know how people say window shopping is free? Well, see, the problem is you go window shopping for a purse and you may decide that you want this purse, for which you got to pay money. But if you window shop in MERLOT, you'll find lots of really good materials and they don't cost anything. And so window shopping and looking at the most used materials or materials that got an award. So you can start even looking at those and then thinking about what you're trying to do. Are you looking up something for yourself? Are you looking up something for your learners? what are the needs of your learners? Where are they struggling? I mean, is it algebra they have an issues with? Is it all of it, or is it a portion? And so where do you go from there, and how do you want to introduce it to them? And start small, and don't limit yourself to one discipline. You know, if you're in biology, look at the modules available in history, because you're not just looking at the content, you're also looking at how it's done. And so you can get really good ideas. And the same goes for anybody in the humanities. Check other disciplines. You just never know what you may find, and you will find useful resources that are well structured. So make sure that you review the module. You may only need to use a part. And I think one person here today mentioned that she's using only part of some material. So using OER partially for her classes or everything. Don't just give it to the learner, introduce it. You know, when I sent out that message to the unit educator, nurse educator, I told her, this is why I'm recommending this resource to you. Besides winning an award, it really is very well done. And so you have specific sections, you have videos, you have text, you have everything. And it's very, very clear. And it's also available in several languages. So introduce it to the learner, explain the ropes. What do you need to do? How do you need to explore the resource? What do you need to look for? Years ago, I knew a statistics professor. She used MERLOT modules, and she also made her own little screencast introduction. How do you use this particular resource? So think about that. And then obviously explain what needs to be done and how, and then manage expectations. This is what the resource does. This is how it will help you, but you still need to do the work. And if you have any questions, this is how I can help you. Okay, so in a moment, we'll go into the demo, and this is the grapes picture I promised. I just couldn't resist, you know, because everybody's thinking MERLOT wine. So there we go, no wine bottles. So I will do a bit of an overview and discipline portals, and then I'll show you some exemplary modules. Those I will show you a little later. I have specific ones that I picked, but let me get out, stop sharing for just one moment here. And first of all, I want to make sure that I don't have any questions. Okay, so what I will show you right now is the actual MERLOT site. And if you could please give me a check mark and let me know that you see this screen, the MERLOT flash screen. Okay. Thank you. So this is the main site. And you have a lot of things here. Also, I will try to increase the size. If you have any issues seeing this, then please let me know. I will try to hit Control+ and increase the size of the font in the screen. But just be aware that it may cut down some of the viewing area. Okay, so you have login, you have sign up, and I should be logged in, but it kicked me out again. So I'm not gonna log in right now because I have a tendency to immediately forget my MERLOT passwords, which means that I reset them sometimes twice a day. Okay, so this is the flash screen, and you have several menus here. You have browsing materials, learning exercises, bookmark collections, course portfolios, peer reviews. Then you can add a material, and actually that's another reason to become a member. I've added quite a few materials on here that were really good. And you know, this would really help a lot of people, because if you see something that's well done, share it. I mean, MERLOT doesn't get any money for it, okay? So it's Creative Commons licensing, which means it's free, but you do want to make sure that you give credit. So if you add a material to MERLOT, whether it's yours or somebody else's, it's available and everybody will see it. But again, it doesn't cost anything. So then I want to show you the communities, okay? So academic disciplines, you have agriculture, you have biology, you have chemistry, business, communication, computer science, engineering. Now, there are a lot of resources. Some of them are older. So I actually do try periodically to triage and also see which materials are no longer relevant, but some may be older and really well done, so they're worth keeping. So you can also check when material was updated. So here's history. This is my instructional design and technology. We have math, music, professional coaching, physics, teacher education, statistics. technical allied health, and languages. World languages section is actually now looking at an editor. I just manage the Russian language section, and it's really a department of one. Now, for other languages, I know there are subject experts, but there is no editor for the whole section of world languages. So if anybody is interested, let me know and I'll pass this on to the leads, because we are looking for someone. So these are the communities, and what you can do is you go into each community, and the portals, they have a similar structure. So the pictures may be different, but they have a similar structure. Everything is very standardized for easier viewing. And so then we have the showcase often listed, and then we have materials by discipline and new materials, and then additional links, journals, and publications. Okay, let me take a look at chat. Yeah, it does. So Stacy, did you work with MERLOT before, or is this just looking different? Because MERLOT did have a huge cleanup and reorganization of the site. Yes, it has changed a lot since then. So you have materials, new members, welcome from the editor, chats on Twitter, and then journals, publications, professional organizations, and then computer science on the web. So all of these portals, they have the same structure, but they certainly have differences based on the disciplines. And so if you look at any of these, you can search for resources. Okay, we also have health sciences. So this one is a little different. Okay. And so actually, Stacy, you were the one who mentioned nursing, I think. So here we go. Here's an example: transition into nursing and transition to baccalaureate from associates. And frankly, I wish I had this textbook a few years ago to share with our nursing students, because for 10 years, over 10 years, I was involved with the student nurse extern program. And so we had second career students. And this would have helped them a lot, because a lot of them did go from associates to bachelors and career switching. And so this would have been great for them. So you can look at careers and resources by discipline. So Stacy, I believe, and please, I do apologize if I am thinking of the wrong person here. So here we go. That's nursing resources for you. Now let me take a look at chat. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Oh, wonderful. So again, everyone, the job of the editor is not easy. And again, obviously it's free. You don't get paid for it, but you do get digs on finding out the most interesting resources ever. So please email me, because I will pass on your message to the leads and say there may be an interest. I mean, and there may be something. I mean, the old editor, they used to have a whole board editor, but that may actually be an option. Amal, thank you so much, because maybe we just need section editors for now. So I will take your email and I will let them know. So please, again, do message me, because I'm really afraid of losing somebody's email until I get the chat transcript. And I do want to make sure that I follow up with you. Thank you. And thank you very much. And also, just to let you know, if you don't want to become an editor, start by reviewing. And if you have experience in the area, teaching and practitioner experience, you only need to do 2 reviews a year, which is, it's still a lot. We're all very busy, but it's a start. You can become a reviewer. Now, obviously, if you're an editor, you have to do more than that. Yes, absolutely. So let me just tell you, since we brought this up, let me just tell you a little bit about it. As the editor, I triage reviews to 2 reviewers. And then when they do the review, I do the composite. And it's not just putting together what they wrote. It's also obviously looking at the material, making my own notes, and adding my own thoughts to it. So the reviewers, it is a review process, and it's fairly rigorous. And we actually did report some materials that were inappropriate. They weren't free, or they were, or the links didn't work, or something just wasn't working right. So we do keep track of things. Now, there's a lot of resource material, so we have no way of going through everything, but we do try. And yes, there are a lot of quality materials. And so if you have any questions, reach out to MERLOT. Oh, excellent. Thank you. So I will, again, please email me and just put in whatever you put in chat, because I will send your information. At the very least, I will take reviews, but I am going to propose that maybe until we get a whole board editor, we get an editor for each section. And thank you again to the organizers for posting the information. Okay, so these are your browse materials, learning exercises. I will give it just one attempt to log in, because I tell you this whole thing password. Yes, I know about writing it down, but still. Let's see. Nope, didn't work. Okay, so let me just show you news and information, and then just about MERLOT, who MERLOT is. And then I also want to show you the materials that I picked and skills commons. All right, so let me stop sharing for just one moment here, just to see if I have any questions. All right. So MERLOT is huge, and it's not going to take you a day to go through everything. And you know what, honestly, that's okay. Give yourself the grace to learn and give yourself the time to learn, because even if you know MERLOT well, and I've been with it forever, I still have to learn a lot of things. It's always looking at something. It's always finding something out. And we have a program called Peer Reviewer Extraordinaire. And so if you complete 15 reviews, that's 1-5, and submit 5 materials, you are recognized during the annual conference. And I believe the reviewers also, the extraordinaires also get free online access to the conference, which is great. Now, obviously for me, I have to do it because I'm the editor. So I need to show that I support my board by doing this. And so I usually have a couple of reviewers who try the extraordinaire with me, and we get it done. It has changed a lot. I mean, I think it has changed for the better. People, everybody is a volunteer. So this is a huge project. And I think it's just an amazing job that they've done with relifting it. Okay. So I would like you to just think about this. Type in chat waterfall style. I'll give you, let me see, make sure that we stay on track. I'll give you a couple of minutes. It's 11:27 Eastern time now, so I will give you a couple of minutes so you can type in chat and just hold until, if you would please, until I'll just give you the request to hit enter or write a note to yourself. So now that you've seen this, and it's a small snippet, because we can only do so much, think about how this can help your learners, and think about some of the scenarios that would benefit from doing this using MERLOT. Thank you. Which conference, Amal? Do you mean the OLC conference, the Online Learning Consortium? I can find that out for you. I can get you a link. If you're talking about MERLOT, there is no conference, but here we go. Yep, that's the OLC conference. Thank you. Thank you to the organizers again. So the next one, I'll need to find out when it's going on. But if you are interested in specifically MERLOT training, then let me know and we can talk offline how we can get that arranged. Yes, that's it. Okay, 1 minute, everyone. I know it's hard. I'm just one of those that pushes the button. That is correct. Thank you again. So it's a co-host because MERLOT and Online Learning Consortium work together. So that's why. And for at least 5 years, I actually reviewed the proposals for MERLOT. I had to sit it out this year just because it's been a bit crazy, but I've done it. And actually that's another good way to look at what's out and to keep up with everything when you do reviews and when you do proposal reviews, but that's a separate thing for OLC. Okay, how are we doing for time? I think we can hold on 1 minute for everyone. So again, think about what you can do to help your learners and some of your scenarios where it may help you to use MERLOT. It absolutely is. And honestly, I've done it 5 years and I just had to sit it out this year and I had to sit it out 1 year before that. But usually I try to find the time and do it. So this year I'm also doing reviews for EduCourse because I'm an ambassador. But again, it's a really great way to find things out and just stay on top of it. And then you bring this experience to MERLOT and actually you'll be able to search better because you will have more background as you are doing reviews, and especially doing reviews for a conference. Okay, go ahead and hit the enter key or return key, please, whatever you have on your computer. Excellent. Next steps, find materials that would work for a class that is atypical. My class is how to learn with your mobile device. Often it's hard to find materials, so I create them myself. Maybe I need to submit them to MERLOT. I would love for you to do this. You need help? Reach out to me, please, because I would be very happy to help you with that. Stacy says, when I taught nursing fundamentals, the students really needed assistance in transitioning to critical thinking. Reading material and memorizing does not help. They need comprehensive scenarios, case scenario discussions, including case scenarios, videos of real life situation to analyze. That's an excellent point. Tahmina says, I looked at the interactive tutorials and other open textbook, and they have added so many examples, games, and simulations. I'll review this soon and can enhance student engagement in my classes. That is excellent. And also, I want to address this to everyone, including faculty. I know that you're all swamped and you're trying to do the best for your students and under very trying circumstances. MERLOT is here to help you. And if you have any questions, please reach out to leadership. If it's something very specific, they will help you. And you can learn critical skills, and there are resources available in MERLOT to help with that. So if you've never done it, start small. If you've done it, again, start small. If you need a one-on-one session, I've done some sessions with a college last year. We did a series of presentations to the historically Black colleges and so in universities. And so we had professors come to us and learn about MERLOT. And we had small sessions, 20, 30 minutes, where we could work with professors one-on-one. So do let us know, please. And some of these sessions I may be able to set up after May. So all it may take is just to get you started, 20, 30 minutes. But the time you invest now is the time that will definitely pay off later, because you will have more engaged students and they will know that your professor, your professor cares about them, because you don't want to spend more money. It's expensive enough. So what can you do? And also lots of resources are accessible through mobile devices, because some students may only have a tablet or a phone. They may not necessarily even have a computer. So what do you do? Okay. So now I want to show you some of the resources that I picked. These are from Instructional Technology Board. And again, please do not limit yourself to one site. I only did it because these are most recent, and I'm trying to make a list of some, just kind of do some window shopping like Catherine said, and make a list of some of these from other disciplines and just basically kind of pull them for you and just send you those in a Word document. So the first one is a Learn Free Classics Award, and that one won an award several times. I'm going to stop sharing and then switch to that screen again. Okay, so this is that scenario that I gave you from an educator on the unit. She had no idea what to do. So, and she obviously can't spend time teaching that person because she's working with nurses, so she needs to work with them. But again, nurses don't work in a vacuum. So how do you help all of your staff? So this is a tutorial that I sent to her, and I also said the typing material is great. Your staff can learn all these things, but also you have basic computer skills. And look at how cleanly this is done. Okay, and actually all of the educators who maintain this resource are volunteers. Nobody's getting paid. So this is GCF Global. Okay, and so look at this. They really do keep up everything here. And I'm going to actually, that was my mistake. Oops, because it's going to have sound. So if you can watch the video, you certainly can. But the main thing is everything is available. Technology, work, core skills, reading and math. So, if you have students who need help, definitely take a look at these. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help and nothing wrong with giving learners resources. And unfortunately, people don't know about these things. The only reason I found out is, well, I work on this and I triage them and I review them with my colleagues. So that's how I know about them. But most people may not know. If you don't tell them, they're not going to. So if we don't tell them, who will? If we don't share this knowledge, who's going to do it? So the other one, let me go ahead and pull it up, and then I will reshare the screen. And this is 23 Things Digital. So this resource actually won an award from us this year. And also let me show you, okay, come on. This is how it will look in MERLOT. I can access this from anywhere, and I often do that, but I want you to see how this looks in MERLOT. So give me a check mark, please, if you can see this screen, because I have a lot of things open and I want to make sure that you are seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, does everybody see the screen? Excellent, thank you. So what we have here is a resource. It's actually in MERLOT. This is how all of the descriptions will look. Let me just go through this. Material detail, the name, and then peer review. If it has one, it has some bookmark collections. One of them is mine. So then the disciplines. So it's not STEM, but it still falls under science and technology. So I strongly recommend that you look at these things. And let me clear this out. You can bookmark and add to course portfolio. For that, of course, you have to be signed in. And so I should maybe follow the suggestions I give to others, is write it down somewhere, because I usually text myself my MERLOT password. And I did not this time. So, that's a suggestion. You can create a learning exercise, add accessibility information. And then here you see that it tells you that it's a MERLOT Award Classic. And you can even click on this. And then you can look at all the awards. You can also see when these were modified. So for example, someone looked and modified at this in early March. And this is critical, because if nobody looked at the resource in ages, that's not good. But you can see that these have been accessed. This is when they were created, and this is when they were accessed. Okay, let me take a look at what's going on in chat. Tahmina, thank you so much. That's excellent. And again, it is a good site. You can really help your learners. I've been doing this for years, and it's been very challenging for me to convince our nursing colleagues, what do we care about this? This is a hospital. Well, you should, because you're not working in a vacuum. When I heard from that educator that her staff member needed help, yeah. What if somebody comes to you and says, a clerk comes to you and says, you know what, I can't type as fast, or I have a learning disability. That's another question I had from someone. How do I get started with a learner who has dyslexia? And I take a lot of Microsoft free courses, but I know, and so I was able to help you, but I know that there are modules on learning disabilities and accessibilities in MERLOT. And I'm actually going to submit some of the resources too. So it's a really helpful resource to everybody. And it's something you can do for your learners. If you can, please do, because they will really appreciate it. Okay, let me see if I can pull this one. And incidentally, the slides are going to be available, so you can download them and look at the materials as well. So that's the description. Then all you do is you go to material. And some of these are older, some of these are newer, but I did ask the authors to take off lynda.com's, instead change to LinkedIn. But they do keep these up, and these are very clean. Now, here's another thing. You look at these modules, excuse me. So you review everything, and obviously some of these you may need to update yourself, but they're very cleanly done. So that's just one example. And in some of these modules, not all, but in some of these, there are actually exercises and reflection materials. So it is definitely worth taking a look at these. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, let me stop sharing. And let me see if there are any additional questions. So the last thing I want to show you, and I will give you a screenshot as well, is Skills Commons. And Skills Commons is tied with MERLOT, and it is a workforce development pipeline, as they say. So unfortunately, what I'm sharing with you now is a screenshot I took. So let me stop for a moment, but you will see it. It's connected to MERLOT, and there's a link right there. So you're not going to miss it. Okay. And so this is Skills Commons. If you even put in Google Skills Commons space MERLOT, you will see it. So this is Workforce Solutions. And here's an example for you. What this is it's development supported by MERLOT, and it's collaboration. You have apprenticeship connections, free learning materials, excuse me, and workforce development materials. And so here's an example for open courseware. And what I will do is, to make it easier for you, is I will put this into chat. And then you can look at it yourself. So notice that I have shorter links. The reason is that it's very difficult to put long links in chat. Now, it will allow you to do this, but that doesn't mean that we can. Okay, so here we go. Here's a link for you. And one thing I want to note on accessibility, yes, it is similable. Creative Commons, though, Tahmina, to address your question, Creative Commons is more of a description of what it is and how you use the materials. Skills Commons is actual workforce development. So there are modules, there are links to apprenticeship possibilities, there's training for faculty, collaborations with schools and different schools, including community colleges for trades and things like that. So it's part of it, yes. It's part of it in the sense that it's free and there are guidelines. How do you do it? So Creative Commons, you know what, let me do this. We don't have a lot of time left, but I want to make sure I want to give you the Creative Commons link. So thank you for asking that question. And I'm not going to shorten the link because it's short enough, but I will put it into chat for you so that you can grab it. And I will also add it to my notes so that I can share it with you later. So if you look at Creative Commons, you will see what it is and what it does. I gave you a very small bird's eye overview, free, give credit, but there are different creative licenses derivatives. So check on those, please, and then ask questions of the organizers. Skill Commons is different. It's a MERLOT supported collaborative to make sure that the workforce is well prepared. So they have connections to apprenticeships, they have academies, they have all kinds of things. And there are lots of resources. And actually, I believe I've seen something on nursing. So I will try to take a look at that. And if you have any questions, email Jerry Hanley because his email is on there, and email me. If there's any way I can help you, I certainly will, because we only have a couple of minutes to go. And so what I want to do is stop the demo and ask you thank you, Stacy. And so ask you, what are your thoughts? How do you think you'll continue with this? And you can just go ahead and type in chat. We're not going to do waterfall this time. And then please reach out to me with any further questions. And just know that if I don't respond right away, I'm not ignoring you. I always tell this to everyone so that people don't feel like I say, email me and then don't respond. I just have lots of stuff going on, but I will respond to you, and I may need to do some research and then respond to you and give you some thoughts and ideas so that you can start on your journey. Thank you so much. And he will definitely get back to you. He is very vested in this. He is absolutely amazing. It's an amazing group. I have never regretted getting involved with MERLOT. It is an amazing organization. I have a family member who is a first generation, and we came here as refugees. And, I wish I had these resources years ago. And so I sort of made it one of my challenges is sharing this with everybody and encouraging others to do the same. So thank you again for having me and for your very thoughtful comments. And I look forward to hearing hopefully from some of you. No, he has not. But Jane Moore is retiring. And I'm really going to miss her. I hope she gets involved in MERLOT somehow after she retires. But she's been incredibly supportive, as has Kathy Swift.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Irene. This has been really informative, and I do feel a call now to go put stuff in MERLOT that I've developed for my class. So I'd like everyone in the chat, I want to thank you for your time and sharing your ideas and helping us learn more about it. For those of you who are excited about what we're doing with this conference, I'm pasting how you can connect with the Peralta Online Equity Initiative on social media. We are going to have more sessions. Another one starts in just 15 minutes, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, and then every time zone in between and on the other sides. So please join us again in 15 minutes. We'll stop this recording. And again, thanks, Irene, for everything that you've done.
Thank you. And I'm sure it's going to have my coughs and whatever. So I just said this, I just have lots of allergies and sinuses. So my apologies. Thank you for putting up with that.
No worries.
And Kevin, yes, correct.